Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have a list of 14 properties in total, and since it's Friday, let's get our move on. A couple days ago, we had another townhouse listed in this complex, stacked townhouse, Viva Townhouses, 1380 Costigan, and it was $379. It had 2 parking spaces, essentially the same layout as this one on 88, but not an end unit. Plus minus that, based on what else is sold in the complex, I thought it was a bit high. Well, guess what? 2 days later, a sold sign pops up. So, you know, people come to me and say, Chuck, you said bad stuff about my house, or thank you for saying nice stuff. I don't have that much power that I can sway a market. And that's always the thing that amuses me, that no matter what I say, I mean, I kind of know what I'm doing. I've been around a long time. I've seen like 10,000 homes in my life. But I can't influence a market to that level. And so there you go. So it was a pleasant surprise, especially the fact that we're listing this one, unit 88. Nice end unit. The way the stack town works is that you've got this going up a few stairs, and then you have the main level, and then you also have the upstairs level. The one below, the door is over here, and it's main level, kind of underneath where the stairs go. They come up about 7 or 8 stairs, main level, and then you also have the basement. So there's 4 different levels that make up the 1-2 punch on these. You got green space right in front of this home. Visitor parking is very close. Pot lights in the kitchen. Granite countertops and a nice backsplash under cabinet lighting. You've got the custom lights here, and you can see how it walks out. So you open these doors up, you get a nice breeze inside, and you also have a nice flow and rhythm if you are entertaining some guests. You've got the ability to barbecue outside, 2 bedrooms, nice size rooms upstairs, and you also have 2 full bathrooms plus a laundry. So there you go. I think this is a very popular price range for a first-time buyer. I think that it can also work even for a downsizer if they're okay with stairs, because it's the right size for someone who's downsizing and doesn't want an apartment building. But there are some stairs to deal with for sure. So the other thing that could be, you can kind of see it right here, is there's a separate door that goes into the garage. So there's only 1 parking spot in the garage, and if you didn't have a car, let's say, could you set that up as, you know, potentially a little bit of a workshop? Or if you were a photographer or something like that, could you maybe set it up so that you do some of your photos in there? You always want to check with the bylaws and make sure your business is allowed in there. But that might all open up some creative opportunities for some individuals who maybe can figure out what to do with that. Anyway, it's priced really well, especially with that sold sign going up on the other one. Got a couple of Croftsides in today's list, and this one on Gaisley Circle looks really good. I mean, we just sold one on Gaisley for, let's just call it a really good number, and a lot more than this one here. It does face green space. It's not the fanciest home inside. It's got carpet, but most of these are not like kind of blow your mind amazing. Some of them are. You know, the one that we have listed on Gaisley is quite nice. But the other thing about the fireplace here is it can be as much of a help as a hindrance. It's a nice thing to have a fireplace. The problem is this wall can be a very important place to put a couch. So what they've actually done is they've put a couch right here on this kind of awkward little separation between the kitchen and the family room, and it overlaps on the one side. So it can change the orientation of your furniture. A lot of times what we see is there's a couch that ends up here, and then there's another one on the other side. The other thing is, now I know this isn't going to influence their fate, but it does help. Get rid of the stuff beside the fridge. That's something we always recommend to people, if nothing else, even just for the pictures. That looks kind of cluttered, so people put brooms beside there, they put step ladders. You got to get rid of it. That's one of the first things I see when I look at this shot, and what I want to see is the rest of the kitchen and finishes inside. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs, plus a finished basement with actually some pretty nice windows here. And it's nice, you know, like this is a really good home for this price. I could definitely see it going for more than asking. The all brick is nice too. It's a lot less maintenance. Now on its own, this one on Barclay at 449.9, they could have done the price bracket thing we talked about earlier this week as well. On its own, I would look at this one and go, it's still going to get a pretty positive review. It's, you know, same model, 1360 square feet plus a finished basement. There's only 5 photos here. But that just shows how deep of a discount the other one is at $15,000 less than this one. They're both good deals, but I'd jump on the other one even if I had to pay $10,000 over asking. Believe me, it still looks like a good deal. Gervais or Gervais, or I'm not sure how you say it, 499.9. I believe it's right beside Derry Road, which probably not my favorite location. It does face some really nice green space and walking trails. You've got some good looking finishes here, dark hardwood floors, and a pretty open concept layout. 3 bedrooms, 3 washrooms. Now here's the patio that's above the double car garage, which, if you remember, we talked about a similar model that didn't show that, and I think that this one is a lot more clear about what you're getting through the story being told in the photo gallery. This is a big positive because most of the garages, you can see the neighbor right beside here, you have 2 parking spots in the garage, and then you don't really have something out here. You sometimes see people park here, but I don't know how legal that is. These guys have 1, 2, 3, 4 parking spots, and they're right on the curve of the street. So even though you get this busy road here, the advantage is you can get much more space and an actual driveway, which is not there by design on most of the other ones. But that shows the garage plus the patio above, and that's your front view here too. So it's got a lot of interesting things together. It's not in a perfect location in my mind because of the busy road, but I think it makes up for that with a few other nice features in the front and the back. So see what happens. I think they're holding back on offers on this one, and it really is one of the cheapest ways to get a double car garage in all of Milton. They have pretty nice floor plans as well. Now this one on Megan is called a Sterling model. I really like the floor plan here. $599 for this size of home, just over 2,000 square feet without a finished basement, to me seems a little bit high. However, it is a nice home. What I like about it too is you have a separate living room and a separate dining room. So the living room has carpet, the rest of it looks like it has, or actually the dining room looks like it has hardwood floors plus the hallway, and then there's more carpet here. The challenge can be sometimes in matching that hardwood and make it look similar if you did want to finish it up on the main floor. So it's got a nice floor plan, curved staircase, so everything's not so linear. It's a little bit of a bend to it. You've got your 4 bedrooms upstairs and laundry upstairs as well, and a standard Mattamy 36 by 80 foot lot. It's a nice house. It's a great school district right by Hawthorne Village Public School. We do find a lot of people cutting through Megan between Ferguson and Bennett. And it's a windy street, but I still find that people drive a little fast on this road. Let's see what happens with it. I mean, I could be surprised, same as Costigan, maybe they get an offer on this. But from what I've seen selling, I could see it go both ways. Now, we've looked at this one on Galbraith before, and they've listed, I think, once or twice before. It's right on the corner of Galbraith and Maple. So one of the location factors that is a little tricky with this one is that you're beside a busy road and you're facing commercial. If you like beer, you're right by the beer store. If you like movies, you're right by the movie theater. But it's almost like that. The ideal is to be close but not too close. And so this one is right there. And so some of the finishes inside, they've spent a lot of money on this house. You know, like there's a lot of care, a lot of pride of ownership in here. It's very unique. And so there is an argument here saying maybe neutralize this a little bit more for the next buyer, and just make it a little less sort of, you know, with the wallpaper and everything else. Because the way to think about this, and I think I mentioned this in the last week, is that as soon as you decide to sell your house, and I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, but it ceases to become your house. It now becomes the buyer's house. And so your game as a seller is to say, how can I make this home the most appealing home to a buyer. And something like this, it's all you're doing by having such stark decorating choices and bold decorating choices is you're polarizing your audience, in the sense that there could be one or two people that come in here that absolutely love it and say, this is exactly my style and exactly what I'm looking for. But I would say in a home like this, it's probably a smaller percentage of people than, you know, like a builder's model home, which is purposefully designed to appeal to the widest audience possible. And so with a home like this, it can take longer to sell it. What can make it more appealing to more people sometimes is the better thing to do if you're on a bit of a tighter timeline. If you don't have to move on a timeline, you put it out there and potentially you wait for that right person. And then also what happens is the longer it stays out, people start to say what's wrong. And so at that point, you want to avoid that. Probably happens around 6 to 8 weeks, where momentum starts to really drop. So anyway, it's not my taste. I hope it's to someone's taste, because you can see the effort involved in something like this, even if it's not exactly your style. Okay, so Inglis up in Brookville, great school district up here, 1.23. There's lots of homes for sale right now, and that kind of even like 9 to like 1.3. There's a ton of options right now. So depending on timeline, I mean, even a well-priced home in the country can take 30, 60, or 90 days to sell. That seems like a lot when we're talking about townhouses in Milton, but it's perfectly normal in this area to have a 3 to 6 month period where, you know, maybe you're getting one showing a week kind of thing. That's actually success for some of the rural properties. So nice looking home. Here's the neat thing that I saw with this one. So one of the bedrooms has this little area, a couple stairs up, and then there's this little zone. And then if you look at the other bedroom, I don't know if that's a little kind of a secret, like kind of passageway between the two rooms. If it is, it's very cool. And there we are. There's the home. I mean, the landscaping alone in a home like this is probably $150,000. You know, that's the kind of stuff that you can't even build these homes and make something like this for the price that they charge. So anyway, my concern on this one is just the fact that there's a lot of homes for sale in this range right now. Okay, we got two more. This one here on 5th Line, $2.5 million, 2 acres. If you're doing the math, $1.25 million an acre, which is very high for any area in town. They are getting closer to what they call the Derry Green Business Park. So right now, and we talked about this in the flight over Milton, right now 37% of the people who live in Milton work in Milton. It's higher than what most people think. The goal is to get it to 50%. And one of the things they're going to do is they're going to develop on this side of James Snow Parkway. So this is all business park area right here. Think about kind of like Edwards Boulevard in Mississauga, like kind of low-rise commercial, integrated with some of the natural heritage and creeks and green space throughout the area. So here's where we're looking. If you looked at the zoning on this, so there's Derry Road right here. The maps are on a different tilt. There's Derry Road right here. Go up, and then you've got, this is the plot of land right here, the 2-acre land. So you're about halfway between the train tracks in Derry, James Snow Parkway, and it's on this side of 5th Line. So if you look at this diagram here, let's kind of look at where we are. So there's train tracks, there's Derry Road, there's the plot of land right there. Purple, go over here, industrial area. So you've got a residential property, and the description is it says it's currently zoned residential commercial. Well, it's not. It's zoned future development, and there is an opportunity for commercial. In fact, I might even say industrial is probably more accurate. To me, it's a lot of money per acre based on what we've seen sell so far. But let's see what happens. This is really, even though it's in a residential list, it's much more of an ICI, what we call industrial commercial investment kind of property. So maybe you buy something like this, maybe you live in it, sit on it for a couple of years and see what happens. although the progress for the Derry Green Business Park seems to be getting closer and closer. Last up is 5 Victoria Street, and so we've got the one just 2 doors down that's for sale for $9.99. This one is right beside Bronte, which is going through a road widening, so that's obviously going to impact the amount of traffic coming by this home. I have not been inside of this one. We've got a 58 by 115 property, and it looks nice inside. So that's just the thing. If you want to be, you know, to me, it's one of the best streets in Milton, but being the one right beside the busier road, if you don't want that, this isn't the right home for you. Most of the time we see number 1 or number 2 as being the starting digit for a home like this. It's not. 5 is the first home in off the street. So there we go. That's the list for today. If you have any questions or if you want to join us on a tour of homes, you go to miltontourofhomes.com or just call us up and just meet us at Starbucks or just talk about your plans and we'll see how we can help you out. 905-693-9346. Now have yourself a wonderful weekend.